Welcome back to Eye on the Money, and today on the show we're discussing the future of work, and with me in studio I have none other than Ken Munyi, who is the Managing Director of Eco Kenya. Now, before we took a break, you were explaining to us really the dynamics around the workplace right now, what as a business or a business owner you need to think about in terms of, where to the future of your workplace, the systems you need to put in place, embracing digital. Now, I would really like to talk about your organization because you're really at the forefront of doing this. Explain to us Eco Kenya's space in just preparing businesses for the future of work. And I know you also have so many innovations in place to help this happen, but I would like to also speak specifically about the Super One software. So just take us through about the mandate of Eco Kenya and how you're facilitating businesses to just be ready for the future.
Quite a loaded question.
Let
me give it a try.
Should I break it down?
Okay. But I mean, and thanks for that. So really, Eco Kenya, we see ourselves as a partner to businesses. So we have a very capable, bench from a technology point of view. But more critically, we see ourselves as a business partner, right? And so our real motivation, right, as Eco Kenya is to engage with businesses, understand where those businesses need to go, and then be able, as it were, to join the dots to create solutions that empower these businesses. Now, that's very different from your typical connectivity provider. Right. The guy who comes and gives you internet connection, or the other guy who sells you hardware, or the other guy who sells you the antivirus. We see that whole world as an integrated world.
As an ecosystem.
As an ecosystem. You know why? Because I'm sure you're conversant with the whole angle of going out and picking one component of what should be a system and thinking that because I now have the right, or what you think is the right hardware, my world and my problems are all sorted. So we see ourselves as the party that helps bring all this stuff together from our ecosystem, and whether it is of technologies or even partners, to address the specific needs that our customers have. So within that, we of course have internet. Within that, we have managed connectivity, and that's I'll touch a bit more about the Super One. But we also have security solutions. We would have IT as a service, and I kind of don't want to get into a lot of that techno lingo because many people float in it. But really, it is how we package IT and avail it to our customers as a service. But we are also looking at how we address the question of hardware. Right? It kind of doesn't occur to many people that you can have a very good connection, but if you've got bad hardware or really old-fashioned hardware, your experience will actually be pretty much impaired. You can have a very good connection, a very new machine, laptop, PC, whatever. If you have the wrong software, again, your productivity and your outcome will be impaired. You can have all these things, but if your, again, software, it doesn't have the right licenses. So we look at this, therefore, world in its kind of integrated sense and create solutions that help customers really generate value from an IT environment in their world. And that's how we want to approach this particular space. We have been there, done it in as far as selling internet. We've been there, done it in as far as talking about software, but we think this conversation now really should take a system approach, should take an ecosystem approach. We need to bring in all the components and be able to generate the final product that really addresses your needs. I mean, let me ask you, when you walk into a restaurant, what are you looking for?
I mean, I'm looking for a good service. I'm looking for a nice meal to eat.
Fantastic.
I'm looking,
So you don't go in and start discussing the plate, do you?
No.
You don't go in and start talking about where they bought their beef, do you?
No, I don't even care.
What about their veggies?
No.
And the knife?
No.
And where the chef went to school?
I really don't even know what the chef looks like.
Precisely. So you go in there, right? Meet up with a friend and say, let's go and have a really nice meal, a good experience. And somebody else takes care of all these issues that I have asked you about.
So you don't worry about the background.
You don't worry about the background, right? You go in there, you say, I want some nice filet, medium to well, however you want it, with veggies, and you relax, and you have a good time. I mean, if you went in there and started having this very detailed conversation about where did you go to school, and these plates have they washed in the morning, and this place have you paid rent, and I mean, you'll be tired. You'll not even be able to enjoy your meal. And that is exactly where we are at. We want our partners, our customers to engage and talk to us about the solution and their business needs, and then allow us to take care of all the complexities, important as they are, but we want to focus that towards addressing real need and give our customers a really fantastic experience.
And now, in the same breath, and just for me to understand better, and also help my audience member out there, you've mentioned it yourself, like different businesses have a different array of needs. And this is where you come in to just like do the background so that me as the customer, when I walk in, I have the most pleasant experience. Yes. My question then is, I'm convinced, I've decided I'm going to come to Eco Kenya, let them figure out my problems. I just want to make sure at the end of the day, I keep my customer hooked. When I walk in, do you have a system in place where we can tailor make? You know what I mean? What I say, according to what I need? Because you have a lot you're offering. Is it a one package for all where you say, listen, as a business, this is what you need to have in place. What does that look like? And also, I know you don't like my loaded questions, but the future of work is not going to only affect Kenya. It's not only going to affect the US. It's not, in fact, some countries are there. What's the scope of Eco Kenya? Who are you working with who can tap into you?
And I forgot to ask your question about the Super One, so I'm going to touch on that. But maybe let me start with what you've just asked. So how do we approach it? So we really have a consultative engagement, right? We do not come in to tell you what we think you should do.
Okay.
I've kind of been insisting. We want you to drive that conversation. We want to understand what are your objectives. We want to understand what do you want to achieve. We want to understand what is changing within your world. What is actually your business strategy? And how then, right, can we now make the technology fit to support you? That's really how we look at ourselves as being. So you can't have a one size fit all approach, because businesses are at different processes of their journey. They are serving and they are existing in different contexts. They have different challenges. They, serve different clientele spaces. So we have to be very deliberate, right, in understanding where you want to go and being the partner that helps you actually get there. So there's no one size fit all. It's actually a very consultative approach, very solution driven, and the likely scenario is that you actually don't have one solution that is same for the other party, because things are very different. Yeah, because you're also unique, and everybody. I mean, we all like really being reminded we are unique, but that's not just a cliche. I mean, it's actually the truth. That all of us are unique.
Agreed. With
unique opportunities, with unique challenges, with unique capabilities, and even with a unique strategy. So why is your IT then needing to be the same as everyone else?
Right.
Shouldn't be. So that's really our approach in as far as that's concerned. Now, previously you had asked about the Super One.
Yes.
And so when you were young, let me ask you, do you remember the superheroes?
Yeah.
Which one was your kind of favorite?
I really liked the girl ones. Oh. You know. However,
I need to talk to my daughter about that one.
I have a lot of brothers too, so I like Batman, Superman, Action Man, all those men.
Okay.
Captain America, all those ones, yes.
Okay. So, Superman. You remember Superman?
Yes.
Where do you think he ranks?
Where does he rank? Really top 5, actually top 3.
I think he should be top 1.
Right, I agree.
That is the reason why we have Super One.
Okay.
So, really, our Super One is the software-defined wide area network.
Right.
But it has got superpowers.
I really like the play on words. Yeah.
Got superpowers to enable and empower businesses. Just like the sort of problems that Superman solves, we see ourselves as providing a solution that is agile. Now, again, I need to be careful because this is where some people get lost. Agile, flexible, one that can grow and with the business, so it is scalable, right? But more importantly, we are actually providing this solution as a service. Now, again, that's important that we have a technology solution, but we are not about pushing boxes. We're not here to sell people hardware. Right? So we come in, define the service level agreement, the level of service that you want, because what we've learned is that if you look at, for instance, a business context, and you did also ask me the sort of customers we serve. So we serve customers that have got multiple offices, whether it is in country or across a continent. Now, in that context, you find different offices have different requirements, okay? And we then translate that to what we call service level agreement, but it's really a service level.
Right.
So you might have a facility or one of your offices that can easily operate with a 95% availability. In other words, if you lose services 5% of the time, the world will not stop.
Right.
But you also may have certain very sensitive installations or offices that have to be 100% available. So within our Super One, therefore, right, we, again, with understanding your requirement and all these different stuff, then we are able to say and agree with you that for this particular point, which is your maybe data center or your disaster recovery center, we can't afford to be down here, right? So we need 100% level of availability. You might have, say, you're an insurance company, and maybe you've got an agency out there, and you're saying, if they're down 5% of the time, and you're not saying we'll make them down, but
right.
in case they are, it's not gonna, nobody is going to really get into trouble. Again, then we can quite easily operate with 95% availability. So using that, then we create and avail different availability levels, different levels of service within our Super One solution. And we package it as a service, so the customer signs up for this level of service, and that's what they pay for on a monthly basis. And if the environment changes or there are other possibilities, we look at it, and because you're not tethered to hardware or to software, we can make changes very, very
right.
easily.
It's flexible.
Very flexible. And that then allows you to grow. So let's assume when we started off, this particular installation needed only at 5% availability. But it's become so significant. Now it's become your key outlet. I mean, you can't afford to have it go down. So you now need it at 99% stuff. So we just then modify that, deploy whatever we need to deploy, and up that level of service, and that gives you the agility and ability to change, to adopt to what is changing within that particular context. We talked of the changing world of work, isn't it? So as that need changes, then the solution you have also changes.
In tandem with that need.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Would you believe me if I told you we've come to the end of this show?
Oh, really?
I can't believe it either. Thank you so much, Ken, for making time to come onto the show to talk about the realities, the changing, ever-changing dynamic workspace, and offering solutions to businesses out there to, just tap into this to make sure that even as these changes happen, they happen with them in real time and continue tapping into that customer. Good. Unfortunately, that's where we wrap it up today on Eye on the Money. Thank you very much for watching. And again, remember, you can send your feedback, conversations, queries to our social media handles at Metropol TV KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Thank you.